Good morning, St. Andrews. My name is Julie Wood, and it's a joy to be with you for this morning moment. Today I want to share with you a little story from my life and something that happened nearly 25 years ago that was incredibly pivotal in my faith journey. I had just graduated from Westmont College, and upon graduating, I knew three things. One, I loved God. Two, I loved people. And three, I was passionate about discipleship. After doing a little bit of research, I discovered a program that is unfortunately no longer in existence, but it was called Doulos Ministries, and it was a year-long discipleship training opportunity for postgraduate aged men and women. Well, I got accepted, and after arriving, we were each assigned one of three areas of ministry. Some went to work with college students, others worked with youth at a local church, but most of us were assigned to be big brothers and big sisters in a residential care home for troubled teens that was on the property where this discipleship program was. Now, these teenagers were ages 13, 14, up to 18, and for whatever reason were sent to this program by their families because the patterns in their life were such that they were either going to be detrimental to the kid if something didn't change, or the family was going to implode. And so it was a very robust program, and it was a privilege to be a part of. Well, I brought my fervent passion for discipleship and very quickly learned that discipleship isn't just for loving people when they're easy to love or when they believe the same things that I do. Discipleship is learning how to love even in the middle of people's mess, journeying with them and loving in ways that I'm not sure I ever had the opportunity to up to this point in my life. Well, fast forward 3 to 4 months into the program, I was sitting in the downstairs living room of the girls' home, and I had just gotten off a phone call from the one landline that was in the home. And I was in a living room full of girls with big sisters and little sisters sitting all around. And as I scanned the room, I kind of looked to the three girls that I was a big sister to. And as I looked at them, there was Anne, and I've changed all of these names for anonymity. There was Anne, who struggled deeply with promiscuity back home. Laura, who was known kind of as Laura the liar, really had a hard time being able to speak truth. And manipulative Mary. But as I looked at them, I felt like the Spirit in that moment whispered, but whispered in such a way that it was loudly resounding in my spirit. And he said to me, Julie, when you look at Anne and Laura and Mary, do you see them through the lens of their sin? Anne the promiscuous one, Laura the liar, Mary the manipulator? Or do you see them as Anne and Laura and Mary, who I love and who I died for? Because that's how I see them. And I'm inviting you, Julie, to love these girls as I love them. Then he went a step further. I, up to this point in my life, really had never struggled with rebellion in the same way that these girls did, and didn't relate to those particular sin patterns. And I felt like the Spirit said to me, Julie, I don't love you anymore because you don't do the things that they do. And I don't love them any less because of the sin patterns in their life. I died for all of you. I paid the price, and you are fully loved. It is actually by my grace that you're even able to not struggle with some of the things that they do. It was the first time up to that point in my faith journey, and I'd been walking with Jesus for 16 or 17 years, that I really recognized my need for the cross. That following Jesus Christ wasn't about me being good. It was about me learning to walk in the righteousness that was paid for by the finished work of the cross of Jesus Christ. And I think that without recognizing my need for the cross, I think the privilege of knowing him is lost. If it's just something that happened in history and happens to inform our faith, and was this, yes, profound event, and yes, it allows us to get into glory, but we don't recognize that we need the finished work of the cross and the power that comes. with his death and resurrection, I think some of the privilege of knowing Jesus is lost. And so that poignant moment in my faith was one that stands out to me as one that really began teaching me what love looks like. And that in my identity doesn't come from what I do and don't do. And if I view other people through that lens, I'm missing the opportunity to, as the Spirit of God impressed on me that day, see them through the lens of his finished work and how he created them. So this week, as we are in Ephesians 5, Brian taught yesterday and read this to us, but Ephesians 5:1 says, "Be imitators of God, therefore, as dearly loved children, and live a life of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God." Friend, as you go into this new day, I'm curious to know, how do you view the people in your life? Maybe there's factions and tensions. Maybe it's with those in your family. Maybe it's with a neighbor. Maybe it's with people on staff at St. Andrews or your coworkers. Whoever it is, what I do know is that as we apprentice Jesus Christ together, if we see those people as dearly loved children who the Spirit of God created and is made whole through the person of Jesus Christ, I wonder how differently we will love. I wonder how much brighter our light will shine. And so I encourage us as we go into this day to keep those words in mind. And I also want to say, because there might be some listening today who are struggling with your own self-condemnation or viewing yourself first and foremost through the lens of either your good acts or perhaps through a condemning of yourself for the sin areas that are in your life. And I just want to say to you, you are dearly loved, complete and made whole by the finished work of Jesus Christ. So with that in mind, receive that identity, receive the power of a cross. Know that you're fully loved, that you are dearly loved by God Almighty. Let's go today in the knowledge of who we are in him, and let's love and live differently as we reflect him as light in the world around us. Thanks so much, and have a great day.